19, very early in his Maxims. And I've never actually used this one. I've never actually went after this one because you need a girl brain to kind of interpret. Withholding sex is the tactic of a woman who has already lost. It is mutually assured destruction. Again, when a girl or wife or a girlfriend starts withholding sex, generally that's the end of the relationship. It's like he says, it's mutually assured destruction. She wants to use it or leverage it to get what she wants, but usually it ends the relationship because that's, as Bunny is an expert in saying, is that's the difference between your relationship and all the others.
Right.
You know? Now, in the girl's brain, and this is, again, you and I have like talked about this. This is not your strength. I don't know if you've ever actually used this.
Have I ever withheld sex?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it does take kind of a certain approach to it. You would have to be somebody that's like very much like you leverage it as a power play.
Yeah.
So where does this come from? To, if you can, why do girls use it?
Yeah.
And is it always a death sentence?
I think that this is on the money. That first of all, it's a thing that women use in desperation. So it's like if you're using it, it's because it's the last tool in the toolbox. Just like the way that women use sex to get in with a guy that they really like, they use it as a leveraging point, they think, of pulling back from a man or punishing, so to speak, a man who they don't respect anymore. I think that's the biggest factor is if she doesn't respect him, she's pulling back from him. If she's wanting to punish him, she doesn't respect him. I talk a lot about women talk about love, but men are more about the respect. So I feel like in the way that my brain works, women think of love as love, men think of love as respect. If he's not feeling respected by her, then he's not feeling loved by her in the way that a woman would understand it. So therefore, sex is very much a respect leveraging tool.
How would you be able to discern, let's say a guy's dealing with this, and we always get guys that are married, and this is where girls really can leverage this because he's kind of stuck.
Yeah.
You're in the same household. He can't like walk away generally. What is the difference between this and I have a headache or she just has a low sex rate? Like, how would he discern the difference?
Well, yeah.
Or can you not?
Well, I mean, I think that there are different. Sorry, I hadn't seen this until like right.
Yeah, no. I mean, and that's why we've never covered it before.
It's a lot to unpack, and I did unpack it in my Ignite Your Wife sexual reset course. But I think the difference is a woman who is saying, I have a headache tonight. It's been a long day. I'm tired. And puts you off tonight, but fucks you tomorrow. Because sometimes that's legit. I don't want to pretend like there aren't times when both men or women, just are tired. They just aren't in the mood. They just have a lot on their plate. They just have a lot on their minds. And sometimes sex is kind of the last thing that they're thinking about. So it's hard to turn it on and turn it back off. But if that's a habitual thing, that's withholding sex. That is what this Maxim is talking about. So if sex is being withheld from you as a man in the relationship on a habitual basis, it's kind of laughed about and joked about in like sitcoms. It's like, I always, when I think about withholding sex, I always think about in the sitcoms and in the television world, I always think about Everybody Loves Raymond. So in that show, I don't know if they ever actually had sex. If Raymond and Patricia, his wife, I think her name was.
Yeah, that's
No,
good.
maybe that was just the actress's name. But anyway, Deborah. That was the character's name. I don't know if they ever actually had sex because he was always kind of chasing it. But it's the same thing. This has so many elements to it. This is why I do sex courses, because it's like there are a lot of layers to it. But I always say, don't wait till the very end of the day. Don't wait till you're already exhausted. Don't wait till you don't have any reserves left to enjoy sex play. So that's what kind of reminds me. He essentially is chasing her around all the time, but it starts at like 10 p.m. It's like she's tired. She wants to put lotion on her hands and go to sleep. I will say that withholding sex is a tactic of women who have already lost. It's a mutually assured destruction. Is correct. If she's using that tactic, it's not good for anyone. It's not good for anyone. She's lost respect for you. I think it can be regained. I really do. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done a course about it, because it can be regained, but it's a long game. But another thing that we are planning on discussing today, but can be discussed now, is that you're going to put the effort in somewhere. So even if you are losing sexual ground with someone that you are in relationship with and have been for a long time, like you're invested, you're not really looking to get divorced, that's not your goal, you got married, or you're just in a partnership, for lack of a better way to say it, with a long-term person, and you just don't want to blow all that up because the sex has kind of started to wane. There are ways that you can come back from that. And you might as well try, because you're going to put the effort in there somewhere. You're either going to put the effort into getting back in the dating market, starting to date new girls. There's a lot of steps that lead up to that. Just take them now. And like I said, this actually is something that we were planning on talking about a little bit later in the show, but it certainly applies, because if you're being disrespected sexually, like this Maxim represents, then you can either cut it off and understand that it's not going to get any better. If it's a newer girl, like if it's a relationship that you're not truly invested in, just cut it off. Just next. If you're getting sex withheld from you from a fuck buddy, that's because she doesn't have any other options but to withhold sex from you. That's her power play. So who wants to live like that? That sucks. If you're having sex withheld from you from someone that you're invested in, you believe in the sanctity of marriage, you don't want to cheat, you don't want to divorce, you want to stay together, you want to keep your family together, you don't want to blow up your children's lives, then trying it actually works when you have tactics in place.
And do you want to like end